And some breaking news coming in now. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has said that banning or not banning cryptocurrencies will come subsequently after consultations. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that the government has sovereign right to tax profit made from cryptocurrency transactions, and the decision on banning or not banning will be taken based on feedback from the consultations. And of course, she was replying to the general discussion on union budget in the Rajya Sabha. Let me go across to our colleague Avni Raja, who is joining us from the Mumbai newsroom. So, Avni, help us understand the significance of this particular statement, because till now we have been seeing that the government was looking at regulating the digital assets, cryptocurrencies. They never spoke about banning it altogether. But now FM is saying that they are going to consult experts, I'm assuming, when it comes to taking decision on banning the cryptocurrencies or not banning them altogether.
Yes, absolutely. Now, this is an extremely important clarification that has come in from the finance minister. Just to quote what she said, I'm not going to legalize it or ban it at this stage. Banning or not banning will come subsequently when consultations give me input. Now, what this essentially means is that, and the context here to note is in the budget, it was announced that the cryptocurrencies are going to be taxed. The income from cryptocurrencies will be taxed, and that sort of, gave the entire crypto community a sense that this is now going to at least be regulated and not going to be banned. Because if the government is choosing to tax it, then obviously that means they're looking at regulating it and not banning it. The fear was that cryptos would be banned. Now, this clarification here very categorically states that there is a difference between the two, between taxing it because it is a sovereign right of the government to tax any kind of income, and in fact banning or not banning it, whether it is legal or illegal, legitimate, illegitimate, is something that the government has not decided at this point in time. And that discussion or that decision will be taken only post the consultations, which I assume right now there are still going on cryptocurrencies at this point in time. So from that perspective, this is very important to understand the difference between the two, and the fact that taxing cryptocurrencies, the income from cryptocurrencies, does not necessarily mean that in the future the government may not go ahead and take a decision to ban it. So we of course have to wait for more clarity at this point in time. Also remember, the RBI governor has been very vocal about the fact that he is not for cryptocurrencies. He's always been against it and said that it is going to be a threat to the economy and to the financial stability of the country, which is something that he reiterated once again in the recent monetary policy as well. So these are some important points to remember. We of course have to wait now for more clarity to come in from the government.
That's right. In fact, thank you, Avni, for getting us all those details. Let me go across to Ajit Khurana, crypto expert, joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Khurana, thank you so much for speaking to us. First of all, do you think this government strategy when it comes to crypto lacks some kind of clarity? First, they keep calling it a threat to economy time and again. Then they talk about regulation, then and not banning it altogether. And then they impose taxes on it, giving hope to investors that the government might be thinking to legalize it or regulate it. Now they're speaking about ban or not banning it.
So yes, as a community, we are quite frustrated with the lack of clarity. But if you look at the difference between what the government says and what RBI says, I think that RBI is probably the body that is taking an extremely negative or banning-like view on it. And of course, the Ministry of Finance has to consider RBI's point of view. I think if that dilemma gets resolved as to can RBI allow cryptocurrency to survive in India, the ministry would probably come up with regulations.
Ajit Khurana, this is Avni Raja here as well. Thank you so much for speaking to us. My question to you is, was it then, given the recent statements of the finance minister, too early to perhaps, assume that taxing the income from cryptos may not necessarily mean that it is going to be regulated and not banned? Because right now the FM has very clearly said that there has been no decision taken on the question of whether it is going to be banned or not, but taxation is a sovereign right, and that is what they have done right now.
Sure. So when the budget statement talked about certain tax and TDS provisions, several people assume that this means that legalization or complete clarification on legality has been done. I think technically, sure, it wasn't. However, the decision to amend the Income Tax Act, as well as spend so much time, effort on it, was seen by several, including me, I must confess, as the first step towards regulation. And I continue to believe that is going to be the case if we wait.
All right, Ajit Khurana, thank you so much for getting us your perspective as far as this issue is concerned. So, Gauri, there you have it. Seems to be confusion even now at this stage. The only thing to do is for more clarity coming in from the government on cryptocurrencies.
That's right, Avni. Thank you so much for getting us all those details.